Hi everyone and welcome back. Today we are going to be discussing the essay structure. Okay, like a paragraph, an essay is something that you can compare to a hamburger. I know it's kind of weird, but let me show you. An essay is like a hamburger because both of them have something holding them together. Let me explain. In a hamburger, you have the content which is made up of meat, vegetables, chicken, bacon, whichever. But they're only being held together by the top and bottom bun, just like an essay. In an essay, your paragraphs are the content, but you need an introduction and a conclusion to hold them together. If you do not have an introduction or conclusion, just like the meat inside a hamburger, your essay will fall apart. Okay, so let's go to the definitions of each of them. Let's start with introduction. Introduction says, section that sets the scene by providing background information about the topic. Now, the introduction is probably the most important part of an essay. It has specific elements that we're going to be discussing in this presentation. You cannot simply start writing an essay starting with the content. You need to properly state your topic. You need to catch the reader's attention, and you need to introduce the topics of your following paragraphs, meaning you need to tell the reader what they are going to be reading about in the following paragraph. You need to tell them what to expect from the coming paragraphs. So we're skipping to number 3. Conclusion. You should remind the readers of the purpose of the essay, provide an answer to the thesis, and remind readers how the answer was reached. So, as I said, just like you cannot simply start your essay by providing the explanations, you cannot leave your essay with the last explanation being the last sentence. Movies and books have a resolution. Fairy tales have a happy end. And just like so, you need to end your essay. That means that you need to wrap it up and that you need to tie everything in. What are you going to do in your conclusion? You're going to repeat your topic again, remind them this is what we were talking about, and then tie everything in. How? By repeating again the topic of each content paragraph. Let's go to number 2 that says body. The body addresses and explains the essay's thesis statement. Should be organized into paragraphs. Okay. When you're completing a standardized test like the College Board, or you're completing an entry exam for maybe a private school or maybe college, you're going to be required usually to write a 5-paragraph essay. You can write a 3-paragraph essay, 4, 6, it goes on. But usually for this kind of evaluations, you're gonna be working with the 5-paragraph essay, and for the purposes of this discussion, we're gonna stick to that. So if we have 5 paragraphs, that means that we already have the introduction, we already have the conclusion, and we are left with 3 more paragraphs to write. Each paragraph has to be about the topic mentioned in the introduction, and each paragraph needs to provide extra information about the topic that you mentioned. Obviously, an essay can have 3 paragraphs, and this is usually maybe what you're going to be required to write in high school. In which case, it would have an introduction, 1 content paragraph, and a conclusion. But in a 5-paragraph structured essay, you're going to have your introduction, and you need to have 3 paragraphs that are discussing different elements of the same topic that you mentioned in your introduction. Let's continue. I mentioned the introduction is the most important part. It has different elements, one of those being the topic sentence. Topic sentence we have already discussed in the parts of the essay, and topic sentence is something that is going to be repeated throughout the essay because each paragraph needs to have its own topic sentence. The definition again is A sentence that expresses the main idea of the paragraph in which it occurs. Remember, many of you didn't have any problems with this, but let me make it clear again. The topic sentence expresses the main idea, but when I'm asking you to identify the topic sentence and the main idea, you're not going to write the same answer for both of them. The topic sentence is a sentence that is written there. You can circle it, you can highlight it. The main idea is what you take away. It's the message that you understood from the whole paragraph or essay and that is identified or mentioned in the topic sentence. Next, the thesis statement. The thesis statement usually appears at the end of the introductory paragraph of a paper, and it offers a concise summary of the main point or claim of the essay, research paper, etc. Now, the thesis statement, or sometimes called the focus statement, is your position. So if you're talking about candy, what do you want the message about candy to be? Is candy good or bad? If you're talking about cakes, are cakes good for your health or bad for your health? That is your position. Whereas the topic would be cake or candy, the position is what you think about cake or candy. Okay? So we got already two parts, the topic sentence, the thesis statement, and the hook now. So the hook says that you need to use a hook to grab the reader's attention. And it's called a hook because technically you are fishing the reader. You need to grab their attention. You need to make them want to read your essay. And this is your opener. This is how you start your introduction. A hook can be using imagery to describe something, a surprising fact, using dialogue or using a quote said by someone, a question like here in the example that says, did you know, or a definition. Now that we have already mentioned three of the elements of the introduction, let me take you back to the hamburger. Because here in the thesis statement, it says that you need to offer a concise summary of the main point or claim of the essay, right? So, in your thesis statement, and this is really important, in your thesis statement, you're trying to prove something. Like I mentioned, maybe cake or candy. Your topic is candy. And you want to prove that it's not good for your health. And you need to provide a reason per paragraph of why candy is not good for your health. So if we're working with a 5-paragraph essay and you already have an introduction and a conclusion, that means that you need 3 other reasons as to why candy can be harmful for your health in order to fulfill your 5 paragraphs. That means that in your thesis statement, again, a sentence in your introduction, you're going to mention your point, your position, your opinion, and you're going to say, I'm going to prove this by providing the following evidence. And that evidence is going to be the topic of your first body paragraph, the topic of your second body paragraph, and the topic of your third body paragraph. I've been mostly working in English, but let me say that in Spanish. Thesis statement, que probablemente mucha gente lo va a confundir entre el tema. El topic sentence es el tema, el thesis statement es tu posición, lo que tú quieres probar. Y en esa oración que está en la introducción, tú tienes que mencionar cada evidencia que tú vas a explicar para probar tu posición, tu punto. Significa que cada párrafo entre medio de la introducción y la conclusión tiene que ser cada uno de cada evidencia que tú mencionaste. Entonces, si estamos hablando de los dulces, que es el tema, y tu posición es que no son buenos para la salud, ahí mismo en esa oración, en la introducción, tienes que mencionar las 3 razones por las que tú crees que los dulces no son buenos para la salud. Quizás vas a decir por el nivel de azúcar, vas a decir por los carbohidratos que tienen y vas a decir por la salud dental. Y los dejas ahí, porque entonces en cada párrafo de contenido vas a poner información de cada uno. Significa que el segundo párrafo que va después de la introducción va a ser sobre el azúcar en el dulce. El tercer párrafo va a ser sobre los carbohidratos. Y el cuarto párrafo va a ser sobre la salud dental y cómo lo afectan los dulces. Y ahí tienes ya los temas individuales de cada uno, tienes los temas individuales de cada una de tus evidencias. Seguimos. Y vamos a ir a un ejemplo. It says example. Miren, este párrafo aquí es una introducción. And you're gonna see that is a very good example of an introduction that has all the parts that we have been mentioning. Let me change this into a pen. So, la primera oración dice, can you imagine how much a single day can cost you if you live in Shibuya, Tokyo? And that, folks, is the hook. And as we mentioned, you can start an essay with a hook using imagery in a fact, dialogue, questions, and definitions. Which is this one? It's a question. Next, Tokyo is one of the most expensive cities in the world. And as you can see, this sentence right here is the topic sentence. They're talking about Tokyo being expensive. Next, the prices of items in Tokyo are much higher than in other parts of Japan. Many people living in Tokyo have a difficult time paying for their lifestyles. And then we go to the thesis statement, the position. Tokyo, one of the most expensive cities in all the world, exceeds prices in other urban cities in the price of food, 1, rent, 2, and even transportation. And right here, in your introduction, in one single sentence, the writer told you what the essay is going to be about and the 3 topics of their upcoming paragraphs. Transition words. Include a transition that moves the reader smoothly from one idea to the next. They help sequence ideas, show location, show time, indicate more information, and help conclude a piece of writing. Therefore, you need to include words that remind the reader that there is a sequence, that there is an order. Examples include first, second, third. Those 3 are really important because you have 3 content paragraphs. Across, after, furthermore, in addition, in conclusion. And if you notice, we have here words that you can use either in the content paragraphs and to begin your conclusion. Like in conclusion, I have showed you what I meant to show you because I mentioned these evidences. Supporting evidence. Okay. The definition says, and it's quite tricky, but let's read it. It's a type of literary device that appears in different categories of essays and theses in the form of paraphrasing and quotations. It is presented to persuade the readers and used with powerful arguments in texts or essays. Okay, so let's go back to the example of candy. Candy, candy, candy. We mentioned that you can be writing an essay about candy and the consequences of candy in health. Each paragraph is going to be about different evidence of why candy is bad for your health. We mentioned that those topics were going to be the following: sugar, carbs, and dental health. Your supporting evidence is the evidence of why candy has too much sugar. So we're talking about the sugar levels in candy. What about the sugar levels in candy? How much sugar does candy have? How much sugar are you supposed to be consuming per day? Next, carbs. Similar. So we're talking about carbs in candy. What is your evidence? How many carbs are people supposed to be consuming per day? How many carbs does candy have? And the last one, dental health. How does the consumption of candy affect the need for you to go to the dentist? How many children per year need to have cavities worked on their mouth because of candy? Okay, so to recap, we have discussed already What is an introduction? What is the hook? What is the thesis? What is the topic sentence? What's the body? What are transition words? And what is a conclusion? Okay, so here we have another example of an introduction. Why you should not smoke. It starts by saying, I am sure that you know that smoking harms your body. Then why do you continue smoking? Maybe you do it because you haven't really become conscious about all the effects that smoking has. There are a lot of reasons why you shouldn't smoke. Some of them are that smoking affects your health, that you spend a lot of money on cigarettes, and that when you smoke, you are not respecting people around you. Now, let's recap. We have, where's my mouse? We have the hook right here because it starts with a question. Question mark is actually over here, and what is the topic? Smoking. And it says so here. There are a lot of reasons why you shouldn't smoke. And then it goes on with the thesis statement. Some of them are that 1, smoking affects your health. 2, you spend a lot of money on cigarettes. And 3, when you smoke, you're not respecting people around you. That means that we already know what each paragraph is going to be about. Now, let's see how transition words are used in this same essay. I hope that you see the image well here. Let's see. It starts with a transition right here. The first reason which you shouldn't smoke is that smoking affects your health. And then it goes on as to how smoking affects your health. And then it says the second reason why you shouldn't smoke is because of all the money that you spend on it. And it goes on about how you waste money on smoking. And then it goes on, we have another transition phrase that says, the last reason why you shouldn't smoke is out of respect for the people around you. And not only is this a transition phrase, but it's letting you know that this is the last content paragraph. What have we mentioned? So what are the parts of an essay? In an essay, we have an introduction. The introduction contains a hook, a thesis statement, and a topic sentence. An essay also has a body, which are the paragraphs that address and explain the statement. We have transition words that take us from one paragraph to another, and we have a conclusion that wraps everything up. I wish that we had more time to work with an essay. It is such an important skill for students to have and develop in order to succeed. Sadly, because of the situation, I can only take you so far. So we're gonna stay here. At least I have the satisfaction that I have shown you what the parts of the essay are, how you can start writing an essay, and how it should be structured. Hopefully, this will be of help for you and others. Thanks again for watching, and see you in the next one. Bye!